Hello, welcome to another Purple Insider Extra. Matthew Coller here, along with Sam Ekstrom. A reminder to listen to our longer conversations on the Purple Insider podcast. You can get that at the link below or wherever you get your podcasts, and read our written work, purpleinsider.substack.com. Sam, here's my question for you about the offensive line. The Vikings have not really done anything outside of trading for Mason Cole, who appears to be someone who's going to just be competing or have a backup spot, but is not a game changer along the offensive line. I want you to project forward to the season and tell me whether you think the Minnesota Vikings between now and opening day will have a better offensive line than they did last year.
Wow. I don't know. I don't know the answer. So today, I think the answer is no, because they've gone from Riley Reif to Rashad Hill, and they don't have a guard, and we don't know where Ezra Cleveland is playing. I think they're going to add at least one huge piece, though. I think it's going to be a draft pick. I mean, at this point in free agency, the best they can do is probably either a reclamation project, somebody off injury, somebody trying to revive their career. I think they kind of missed the boat on the elite free agents. They don't have a lot of money left to spend. So it's going to have to come through the draft, and you can't expect draft picks to play week one, even if they are first-round picks. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they're Tristan Wirfs, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Or even if they do play, they're not that effective, like Garrett Bradbury in his first year. So I am going to say it will not be as effective as it was last year. And they're going to have to make a move to prove me wrong.
So do you think that the Vikings will go with offensive line in the first round, because we still haven't seen them bring in a pass rusher to work out and improve their pass rush after signing Dalvin Tomlinson to make for a better defensive line, but they're still not any better in terms of total sacks and total pressures. Getting Danielle Hunter back, if he does indeed come back, will help them for sure, but it's not like they went out and signed a big name edge rusher to come in and completely revamp their pass rush. So it feels like defensive end pass rusher is still the favorite now in the first round, but this is, I think, a pretty serious need along the offensive line, unless they truly believe that Rashad Hill is taking a huge step and is ready to start. There's so much shuffling that can go on here. We could see Ezra Cleveland move over to left tackle, but there's also the part about not knowing if he can even effectively play left tackle. At right guard, I don't think that tells us a whole lot in the way that he performed. We saw him block very well as a run blocker and as a pass blocker. He had his good days and his bad days, but those aren't the same position. So can he play against some of the best pass rushing outside linebackers and defensive ends in the league? We really don't know. And so I think that there is a possibility that the offensive line ends up being better, especially if they take someone like Elijah Vera-Tucker in the first round. But if they wait until the third round, the fourth round to try and fill that position, if they grab another Mason Cole type off of free agency, it's very hard to see it being better than it was last year. And we're going to be talking about year 4 of Kirk Cousins without very good pass protection.
Yeah, and there is the Dakota Dozier factor too. He was arguably the worst guard in football last year, and he'll probably improve that position by default. But Ezra Cleveland presents kind of a big problem because you didn't really work on left tackle with him last year. And again, I think you need him starting somewhere. But if you start him at guard, are you going to pivot him to tackle mid-season if Rashad Hill isn't working out? That's why you need at least one more body in there just to provide some more stability and insurance. I think that this team's pretty committed to taking an offensive lineman in the first 2 days of the draft. Elflein, round 3, started right away. Brian O'Neill, round 2. He started, I believe, in week 6 of his rookie season. So you can take one on day 2 and get them starting pretty quickly if it's the right player. And even Ezra Cleveland was starting after half of his rookie season, sort of by default. Drew Samia didn't really work out, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I think there's going to be one draft pick, and I think there needs to be a free agent acquisition. It's just getting late on that free agent acquisition. So that's the part that I think worries me most, is that what's your depth at tackle right now? What's your depth at guard? There just aren't a lot of options in there that I trust. I mean, I don't trust Oli Udoh. I don't trust, I guess Dozier and Jones aren't even back. I don't really trust Mason Cole, frankly. So there just aren't a lot of reliable names or players with upside right now that kind of pique my interest at all.
Who do you think in the first round could be the guy that comes in and steps in right away? Because last year we did see a handful of offensive tackles around the NFL, Tristan Wirfs, Jedrick Wills, step in and make a huge difference for their team right away. Now, not every one of those rookies was good in their first year. Andrew Thomas, the top tackle off the board, really struggled for the New York Giants. But is there someone that you see where you say, if that guy comes in, he could really have a domino effect in vastly improving the offensive line in the first year?
Well, I think it's obviously Penei Sewell, but I don't see him dropping to 14. That would take just a tremendous convergence of factors that I can't believe that he would be overlooked as the number one offensive lineman off the board. So I guess I go to Rashawn Slater. I mean, I think Slater, again, might be able to play, either guard or tackle wherever you need him. Christian Darrisaw intrigues me as well. I like his size. I like his ability to run block, pass block. I think he's got, pretty solid profile out of Virginia Tech. So the top three linemen on the board, like Sewell, Slater, Darrisaw, I could see them being pretty impactful, but I don't think either of the latter two can touch Sewell, who I think is probably an insert week one start for several years kind of guy. With Slater and Darrisaw, I could still see some development and some growing pains taking place. So you're not getting a sure thing, but long-term, you probably have a good draft pick there.
Now, the last guy on the list to talk about is Austin Blythe, who is the best remaining free agent offensive lineman, a guy who would very much fit the Vikings system. And I think that they should be targeting him with some cap space left, but we'll be interested to see how they spend their remaining cap space. If we see another edge rusher, as we talked about, or if we see an offensive lineman, because that could change how we feel about where the Vikings will go in the first round of the draft. So this has been another Purple Insider Extra. And make sure you check out the full podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, just type in Purple Insider, and we'll catch you next time.